What do you remember going through your head the first time you ever picked up a Pokemon game? What comes to mind first? Maybe it was a childhood indecisiveness of having to pick between the 3 starters. Maybe it was a thrill and mystery of exploring a whole new world. For me personally, it had to be the music. Stepping out of the moving truck for the first time and getting hit with the feeling of home in a virtual town I've never been to before. The topic of nostalgia, or sentimental affection for the past, will probably never be an outdated concept to the Pokemon franchise and its player base. After all, it's been 30 years since the original games came out, and as we all grown up and will continue to grow up and change, so does Pokemon, for better or for worse. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be playing the new generation stuff and I'm probably going to have a lot of fun doing so, but deep down, I'll always enjoy the memories of playing these. And it's this nostalgia and love for the Gen 1 through 5 games that ultimately led me to discovering PokeMMO. For any viewers of this video that don't know what PokeMMO is, it's a free-to-play, graphically updated MMO that's built on the ROMs of the first 5 generations of Pokemon. In a nutshell, you're able to freely travel between regions and see and interact with other members of the community on screen as you complete the traditional storylines. Whereas the usual ROM hacks typically crank up the difficulty to the moon or introduces their own custom maps and storylines, PokeMMO honors the memories of the first 5 generations of Pokemon, while introducing MMO aspects that makes it interesting and exciting for a more experienced player base. So in today's video, I'm letting my inner child thrive, or suffer, depending on how dry we go, by shiny hunting all of the shinies that I had as a kid in PokeMMO 15 years later. Now, hear me out, confession time, I didn't shiny hunt as a kid. In fact, I didn't even know what shinies were until I was much older. I always thought they were unique to certain evolution lines in the story instead of being something that every Pokemon had. So for that reason, as some of you could probably recognize from the thumbnail, most of my shinies were a bit Mickey Mouse, but hey. That changes today because we're reclaiming all of them in PokeMMO, where it's significantly more difficult with an adjusted rate of 1 in 30,000. Because I never went out of my way to hunt in the original games and the 1 in 30,000 is basically all I know, I actually decided to try an 8192 hunt to kick things off to see how different it would be. I figured I'd go for a shiny that I would likely never get in PokeMMO because there's no real way to farm encounters on it. Any guesses on what it is? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It was Suicune. Sorry. Total slip right there because I just happened to be listening to Suicune right here. But yeah, that was unexpected. We got it in like 80 tries. Yay us. Easy. It's almost like it was guaranteed. Let's go.
Alright, I'll admit, so a Mickey Mouse Suicune in less than 100 soft resets is probably not the greatest representative of the 8192 odds, but hey, it was still very much a fun side quest from the MMO grind. So our very first nostalgia hunt is going to be my very first shiny ever and the Pokemon Company's favorite child, Pikachu. I still have memories of the 10-year-old me seeing the event distribution posts on Bulbapedia and frantically begging my dad to take me to GameStop after school, where we waited in line for about an hour to get the Pikachu-colored Pichu. Upon bringing the shiny Pichu to the shrine in Ilex Forest, an event would trigger which allowed you to obtain the exclusive spiky-eared Pichu. But I always thought the off-colored Pichu was way cooler, and it ultimately became a mainstay in my childhood team as a Pikachu. As of 2025, it's just casually chilling in my copy of White 2, but not for long. In PokeMMO, the most efficient way to shiny hunt a Pikachu is via its 100% 5x horde in the power plant in Kanto. I actually did a good amount of encounters here during Team Rad Shiny Wars, which we don't talk about, that didn't happen. And can I say, I know a lot of people go off in wars, like you could typically see someone hit a fossil and an egg and like a rare shiny all within a week, but I'm definitely the type to go completely dry during a war and then hit the shiny literally the day after war ends. Oh, hello there, old friend. Nice to see you again. Yeah, now you want to show up, huh? Cheeky little fella. Oh, it's female too. Oh, it's just a sprite acting up. Oh, sweet. There we go. Hello, hello, buddy. Oh, it's raid ready. 2 times 31 special attacking thunder spammer. Need that, definitely need that. Though I'm pretty sure Volt Tackle is probably better, so we'll see what I do with this. Next up, my only non-Mickey Mouse shiny, and the only shiny that I've ever gotten during a regular storyline playthrough, Gigalith. I think I was barely in Wellspring Cave for a minute, just immersing myself in the storyline and the environment, when all of a sudden I hear the particle effect and I'm staring down an off-colored Roggenrola, with the only thing going through my head was, is this a bug? Should I reset my game right now? I ultimately didn't fumble the bag there and caught it, and I still have it to this day. So our hunting location is actually going to be Mistralton Cave with a 100% 5 times horde of Boldore. I don't actually know that many people that go out of their way to do this shunt, but I think y'all should. I think Unova shinies are pretty underrated in general, considering how many absolute bangers there are in this pool. You know what else bangs? Getting a way under odds shiny. Wait, we barely started here. Again today? Let's go. Hello there. Hello there. Two times 31 again? The Pikachu was 2 times 31 too. Let's go. Huge luck today. Why couldn't this happen during war? You know how I said earlier how it's diabolical that some people will go completely dry during a shiny war and then go on the craziest wet streak? The Pikachu, Boldore, and Suicune were all caught on the same day. I need more of that. Definitely need more of that. Now, if you've been keeping up with our shunt list so far, you'd probably think that the last little bit of this video is probably going to be Dragon's Den Simulator, which you're not entirely wrong, but hey, I like to keep y'all guessing sometimes. Our next shunt is going to be the Red Gyarados, but not any Red Gyarados, the Red Gyarados from the Lake of Rage. In the Generation 2 games and their remakes, the Red Gyarados encounter is guaranteed as a part of the Johto storyline, and you can catch it. Now in PokeMMO, the encounter was adjusted to be a boss fight and isn't catchable for the sake of market balancing, but that doesn't mean we can't get a Red Gyarados with the Lake of Rage catch location. Gyarados has a 100% 5 times horde at the Lake of Rage, just be sure to bring a reactive Gasmon to deal with the Intimidate proc. Now for efficiency's sake, I know I could just sit in Dragon's Den to knock this out with the Dratini, but to me, the Pokemon's catch location is the last detail that really brings out the trainer and the Pokemon story altogether. Let's take these two shiny Larvitars. What's the difference? Well, the one on the left was caught from the 5 times horde from Mount Silver. I can tell its trainer is a grinder that actually went out of their way to finish the OT decks to even access Mount Silver in the first place, and they probably faced on one too many Onyxes along the way. The Larvitar on the right was single encountered by a trainer that probably ran around the grass for 2,000 hours to get it before Johto ever released in 2023. To you, which Larvitar has the more compelling story behind it? And while we can all probably agree that it's probably the single encounter Servault Canyon Larvitar, ultimately, our opinion doesn't matter. The real sentimental value or lack of is ultimately up to the trainer that went out of their way to shiny hunt it in the first place. As for me, the Red Gyarados that I caught as a child wasn't the Red Gyarados from the Dragon's Den. It was the Red Gyarados from the Lake of Rage. Evil Bocchie got it, huh? I was starting to think you were washed, brother. I'll let him have it. Alright, and also small shout out to the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon follower sprites. Red Gyarados with this mod looks absolutely amazing. 10 out of 10 for sure. The last shiny on our list is Dragonite. In Black and White 2, by far the best Pokemon game of all time, yes, I will die on that hill, by defeating Alder's grandson Banga in the Black Tower or White Tree Hollow endgame challenge, Banga will reward you with an egg that will hatch into a Shinydratini or Gibble depending on which version of the game you have. I had White 2, so I got the Shinydratini that I evolved into a Dragonite. The last stop on this journey takes us to the Dragon's Den in Johto, where the 5x horde is split between 80% Magikarp and 20% Dratini. And while I'm grateful that Dratini has a horde in the first place, the 20-80 split can be for some players horrific. Some of the other common 20-80s are Onix and Larvitar and Ralts and Bibarel, and it's the main reason why some showcases end up looking like this. The 2080 does not play around, but it's winnable. I managed to get my Ralts without a single beaver, and I firmly believe that we can do the same here. Okay, it's fine because now we completed the full evolution line. This is still a win because it means we're one step closer to completing the living shiny decks. Need that, definitely needed that. Along the way, I managed to meet a few other gamers also on the search for the elusive pink wiggler. Oh shoot, shiny Litwick hit just now. They just whispered me. They got a carp? Yeah, they got a carp. GG's, let's go. This is probably the most underrated part of PokeMMO in my opinion. It's being able to suffer as a community in these longer shunts and in turn, being able to celebrate together once we all make it out alive. So next time you see a familiar face in your regular shiny hunting spots, don't be afraid to reach out. The community is a lot more kind than you think. Alright, so hear me out for a second. We listen and we don't judge. Promise? What if I just killed it?
Oh, let's go! Let's go! Third phase! Oh my gosh, let's go! Okay, let's try the pink ball. The dream ball. It's been asleep for 2 turns. Okay, pink on pink. Pink on pink. Let's go.
Okay, so hear me out for a second. I'm keeping it as a Dragonair. Okay, I know the thumbnail has a Dragonite and the childhood save file also has a Dragonite, but maturing is realizing how bad that green looks on Dragonite. Team Pink Wiggler all the way. Overall, I really enjoyed doing this shiny challenge. There were plenty of opportunities during this hunt for self-reflection. In the hustle and bustle of hard grinding PokeMMO's endgame for hours, there were a lot of times during this last event season where I really had to just sit down and ask myself, damn, do I even like Pokemon? And the answer to that, 15 years ago, today, and even 15 years from now, will always be yes. Thank you so much for watching.